Hey guys, welcome. This is my first installment coming back from my hiatus. Really want to welcome you to IMS or Introspective Media Solutions. This is just my first piece of content. I'll get into exactly what IMS is a little later on. Whenever I unveil my Hey Jai episode, we're bringing back those live streams and we're going to be doing more interviews, more different forms of content, and things like that on the NIT YouTube channel. Well, I guess it'll be renamed IMS YouTube channel coming soon. But yeah, enjoy this piece of content. It's somewhat of my return. On YouTube and Twitch. I'm here with my new venture, a first piece of content for my new venture called Introspective Media Solutions, or IMS. And I'm here with my good buddy Justin.
This is Justin Jackson from Justin Time Sports. You can catch us on all your favorite social medias, X, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you like. And also the Justin Time Sports podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, etc.
All right, cool. So now that we got that plug out the way, let's bring you this kind of exclusive piece of content. This is more of a passion project piece of content that we have here for us. This is what we call the Bill Belichick funeral. So me and Justin, we've been Patriots fans for pretty much as long as I remember. And at the time of this recording, MLK Day 2024, we got the news about 3-4 days ago.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick has been let go from the New England Patriots after about
24 seasons.
Yeah, predictable. So 24 years, head coach, most winningest head coach of our lifetime for sure. 6 Super Bowls, 9 Super Bowl appearances, second most wins all time, period. Also, second most losses. A lot of people don't think about that. So, as Patriots fans, me and Justin kind of have mixed feelings about it,
Highly mixed feelings.
right? So, we're just going to kind of delve into what we think about it, where we think the future of the Patriots is going to go, how we feel about the Gerard Mayo hire, and things like that. And then, just kind of have fun while celebrating Bill Belichick, and what's next for our team. So, kick it off to you. How do you feel about the firing in general? Because he did get fired. They said the mutual party.
It was a
He got
mutual
fired.
parting way. It was a mutual part. See, it was a mutual parting of ways. The team wanted to go in a different direction. They didn't want, according to Bob Kraft, they didn't want any confusion in the building. Bill ran operations solo for 20 plus odd years. They didn't want to take his GM powers away and just have him be the head coach. They didn't want it to be confusing as far as the chain of command. And so it was a mutual parting of ways because Bill wanted to continue to coach. It was a sad day for me. I can admit I was not okay pretty much the whole day with Bill being gone. It was weird because I played the Patriots in Madden like right after that and saw the fake Bill Belichick, and even that hurt a little bit.
Shout out to, what is it, Peter Gaffney,
Peter Gavin,
Chad Masters. They retired too.
all the fake Belichicks over the years. It was a pretty rough day. Then they had the compilations and the video montages. It was sad and depressing. Then the press conference was just weird. He made a Tebow reference to start it off, which was
He
incredible.
actually got choked up a little bit.
He did.
In the
He
press
did. To see
conference.
him emotional was strange, to say the least. I know, and I said it before, I knew it had to happen. I fought it privately, as you well know. But it was one of those things that had to happen. Personnel had passed Bill by. Coaching hasn't. But I believe personnel decisions have passed Bill by. So it's one of those things that had to happen.
Well, I think that we're in a new era, we're in a new age. It's 2023. Even certain coaching things have changed. I will say, because we saw it last year defensively, he was a little bit behind. We beat up on bad teams, capitalized off of having superior athletes. But I would say this year he caught up schematically defensively, but offensively, I don't know how it got any worse. As you know, what I think was pretty much the first domino in his falling, well, the second domino. The first domino in his falling was him telling Bob Kraft that, hey, Tom Brady can't play anymore. I'm trying to move on from Tom Brady. And then Tom Brady goes and wins a Super Bowl. Now, I know it's not that black and white because, Tampa was loaded. They just needed a quarterback that didn't throw 30 picks, right? But, the fact that he didn't give Tom any weapons. Trade away offensive linemen for nuts and bolts. That's the first goal. And then you have some success with Mac Jones, who I liked a lot more than you did because, just trying to find something, man. Trying to find something to root for. Right? You have some success with Mac Jones, and then you completely don't build upon that success at all. You don't give him a number one wide receiver, or you go get Devontae Parker, who, look, man, if you're a wide receiver, the most important thing you need to do is catch the ball. The second most important thing you can do is get open. Devontae Parker was kind of good at only one of those things, and it wasn't getting open. Right? So that's just that. So he didn't really help Mac Jones at all. And then with the coaching hires, he decided to put his friends in place with Matt Patricia, who Matt Patricia has not been a good coach, period, in any level, on any aspect. His only success came whenever he was under Belichick, and he wasn't really doing anything. So, he was the defensive coordinator for the Super Bowl where the Eagles scored 50 on us.
I mean, he had the offensive line stint that was pretty good that year and a half that Scarnecchia wasn't the O-line coach.
But he was just regurgitating the information that was there. And then whenever he came back and tried to be the O-line coach / the offensive coordinator, this time the offensive line took a step back, and the offense itself was just horrible last year. So 8-9, we're thinking that, okay, Belichick is he's on thin ice. And you come and top it off with a 4-13 season. You knew he had to go after that.
I did, but again, part of me wanted to see him get the record. He's only 15 wins away from Shula. Part of me wanted to see him get the record in a Patriots, hat. So instead of, let's say, the Chargers or the Raiders, or wherever he goes next, getting the record there, it's going to feel a little hollow as opposed to doing it as a Patriot.
But he's always going to be known as a Patriot.
True.
Just like Lombardi is known as a Raider or whatever, right?
Lombardi's a Packer.
Whatever. So I don't know. Right. but he's always going to be a Patriot. Just like nobody is going to think of Tom Brady as a Buccaneer.
Except for all of his fans in Tampa.
But nobody cares about Tampa. No offense to our Tampa audience out there, but y'all just kind of like a toilet bowl.
I mean, I had 2 good years out of 30. So,
Street said that's why the experts get it. So, but Tom, I'm sorry, not Tom, but Bill, he's been a great coach for a very long time, and I think that he went out in a proper way. I'm glad that we didn't try to trade him. Of course, that was like a first round draft pick for Bill Belichick, but we didn't try to trade him. We letting him go do his own thing. I'm not sure there's very few teams that I think will pick him up. If you're a young team or rebuilding team, you don't want to pick up Bill Belichick because after seeing what he did with Mac Jones, you don't want to have him with a young quarterback again. So I would like to see him in Philly or Dallas, who at the time of this recording came off of a historic ass whooping.
Oh, we have to talk about that
at some point. Yeah. For sure. So but I'm more excited about the new because I feel like all good things kind of come to an end, and I think that it's good to have a reset. We've had the same quarterback coach system for my entire football life, and then you see people like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, you see Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes. You kind of want Joe Burrow system quarterback allegations. But,
we're going to discuss that as well.
Anyway, so I think it's just little things like that where it's just kind of okay, well, I want something exciting now. I don't want the same chicken and broccoli. And I think that we have the youngest coach in the league now, Gerard Mayo, the youngest African American coach, the first African American, no, I'm black, first black coach, in Patriots history, right? And he was hired pretty much on the spot. He was a succession plan to Bill Belichick. Contractually, he was a succession plan. So, I'm really excited for Mayo. Everybody has nothing but great things to say about him. He was a great football player, Super Bowl champion. He connects with the players, and I think that's just a little bit more important. Everybody's up Ben Johnson's ass. They're just oh, we got to get the offensive guru. I've never heard Ben Johnson talk.
I've never heard Ben Johnson's voice.
Yeah, so I don't know how he'll be a good coach or anything like that. So, and like you said, the Patriots defense was great.
It was.
And I think that as long as that's established, we go find a good offensive coordinator. I think we got to get a quarterback for sure.
ASAP.
And that's another thing that we disagree. So, I like Drake May out of UNC. Big, tall, strong arm. kind of quarterbacks that I grew up with. I know I just said I like something different, but you know, like I like Cam Newton, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen. I like that mold of QB. You, on the other hand, have a different.
I am a Jaden Daniels guy. I could be partial to being an LSU fan, but I've also grew up with LSU fans with Matt Flynn, Jordan Jefferson, Matt Mock. So a lot of times our quarterbacks don't work out. However, we knew they were bad. Jaden Daniels is a dynamic athlete, bombs the way down the field. Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, neither one of those guys are first round picks entering the year. Jaden Daniels has his Heisman year. Now they're both projected top 15, top 20. Malik Neighbors is top 5 on some boards.
To be fair, Jaden Daniels wasn't a first round pick.
I agree. He was probably a day 3 guy entering this year, and had one of the better years of the last 20 years as far as Heisman winners in college football. Dynamic athlete, power arm, very accurate quarterback. And we have our difference in terms of, like, for instance, May. I'm not a huge fan of May's feet. We discussed that numerous amount of times. I'm not a huge fan of his feet.
If you ever want to know how much football nerds we know,
we discussed quarterback feet.
Well, that's because Mac's feet was a noticeably bad this
year. I won't use the reference, but his feet were awful pretty much all year. I'm not a huge fan of Drake May's feet, but Daniels has his concerns. I'm not going to be the guy that's like, the perfect quarterback prospect. The dude looks like he weighs 90 pounds. Like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, he's skinny.
So I'm not gonna say he's a perfect prospect. He only had, if we're gonna be honest, one great season. And he was in college 4 or 5 years, counting the Arizona State years. He had one great season. So I'm not gonna sit here and say he's this 3-year guy like Caleb Williams, for instance, who just declared about an hour ago.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he officially declared. He's been the number 1 pick in his draft for the last 2.5 seasons, whenever he decided to come out. So I'm not gonna say Daniels is that guy, but he would be my pick for the Patriots.
Okay. I wouldn't be mad at Daniels. I just want a quarterback that's not slow and that don't, pardon my French, that don't throw like a bitch. Like, let's talk about what happened to Mac Jones, man. Now, granted, he was supposed to be low ceiling, high floor guy.
Yes.
And he showed that. I thought he was better than, like, I thought he came in as a top 15 quarterback.
I would say that, yes.
I would say he came in at least average, and he would be as good as his team around him. I did not see him bottoming out how he did this year at all.
He fell off a floor. Like, the high floor we discussed, he fell off that floor.
He fell to the basement.
It looked like he lost all his confidence last season. And we know in professional sports, confidence is effectively everything.
Especially if you get hit a lot.
Everyone's good at pro level. We always call guys trash, but that's in comparison to their peers.
Right.
99% of them.
Only 2%, less than 2% of college athletes play any
professional sports. Yeah.
So.
And then we're talking about a first round pick in the NFL. Like, he has talent, right? But it's in the sense of when you lose your confidence, everybody can kind of feel it. And everybody kind of felt it, And when you're the quarterback and you lost your confidence, now your O-line is wondering if he gets hit, they're going to blame us. Now your receiver's saying the one time I do get open, he's going to have the confidence to fit the ball in the hole. Now he didn't have the best receivers. Smith-Schuster.
He actually had the worst receivers.
Yeah, the worst receivers. Smith-Schuster, Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry actually wasn't bad. Devontae Parker.
Tyquan Thornton, dude, you're supposed to be fast. How you don't get open, you're supposed to be fast.
Keyshawn Butte, I think, was inactive for 15 games.
Which made no sense to me. If your receiving core is that bad, you gotta throw something at the wall. I think that's another thing that got Bill fired. Like, he was stubborn.
I agree. You had Pop Douglas, who every time it sounded like he made a good play, was inactive for the next month.
Stubbornness.
So he didn't have the world's best weapons, but there also was just mechanical issues that were gone. I think that came from the play of you had his best friend, Matt Patricia, one of his best friend, Matt Patricia, as his OC. You had
Joe Judge.
as the quarterback coach. Joe Judge was special teams coordinator. Matt Patricia was a DC. Why either one of them on offense, especially in the most important position, I don't know. And that probably contributed to Bill's failures as a coach there and getting himself fired. But you just saw it. I mean, we talk about it every week. Like, there's a throw a game. You're just like, where was he possibly throwing the ball to?
He was so panicky. it was like the minute that they snapped the ball, if he couldn't get it out in 2 seconds, he was scared for his life. And at a certain point, he started looking like Sam Darnold, where it was like he kept falling back whenever he threw the ball, and that was so aggravating. Stop going backwards. You already can't throw it far or throw it hard. At least try to drop the ball forward, and he kept falling backwards. The Indianapolis game in Germany, when it was like they were down by like what, 2?
Yeah, it was like 2. Yeah.
It was down by 2. You had a touch.
Looking at like interior offensive linemen as first round picks, looking at defensive tackles and stuff, because even when we've had quarterback needs the past 3 years, I kind of figured they weren't drafting one, right?
The only time that I thought that we would draft a quarterback whenever we still had Tom in the first round was Lamar Jackson.
With Lamar, yeah, right.
And that's because everybody was saying how much of a project he was, and it was like, okay.
And if you're gonna stick a project behind anybody, you put him
behind Tom Brady.
Right. And that would give us a whole different dynamic of the offense and all pipe dream city in hindsight for Patriots fans.
I mean, the fact that he went 1 pick after, it wasn't that much of a pipe dream.
And what I'm saying is the fact that Bill would do it and spend the first round pick on a guy he figured wouldn't play for him.
Nah, he spent the first round pick on a 6'1" left tackle. They really tested as a guard, but you know.
As a center, really.
Woo, go Bill.
And that 2 kicker thing was great. But yo, going to this offseason, legitimately, I thought we'd draft Joe Alt with the 3rd pick. I truly did. Like I was saying like a lot of Jaden Daniels stuff because I figured that Joe Alt and Jaden Daniels being paid by equally yoked.
Oh yeah, no. If Bill Belichick was still the quarterback. If Bill Belichick was still the coach, we would not be drafting a young quarterback.
Yeah, I figured we'd draft Joe Alt. I figured he'd think left tackle.
I wouldn't even think we'd keep our pick. I think we would trade to like 12.
And give the pick to somebody who drafts somebody amazing.
Right.
And
go get that edge rusher out of Alabama. Because that's what we need.
Yeah. And so I thought we'd draft Joe Alt at 3. Somebody to protect Mac and make him less giddy or whatever.
Oh, Mac is out here.
Yeah, I think Mac was
going to be gone regardless. Bill hated him.
Probably for Zappy. Or Kirk Cousins, equally as likely. Or Stidham coming back, spinning the block. So it's just, it's a new excitement. Free agency is exciting now.
Yep.
Like, it used to be we're going to sign our own players to weird 3-year contracts and then kind of move on our life. But now, like, T. Higgins is a possibility. Kyle Duggar might leave. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We could bring Kyle Duggar back.
We literally don't know.
We have no idea what's going to happen. We have 2 personnel guys. I hope they're splitting duties. I hope they're not doing the same thing twice. Like, I hope we got 1 free agent guy and 1 draft guy, maybe. Because it'd be pretty weird to have them overlapping both things.
Well, Elliot Wolf is the one that was over scouting. He was the head of the scouting department.
So he'll probably
So he's going to be most of the draft stuff, and Matt Grove is play personnel, so I would assume.
So he'd be free agency. But I'm saying that's, like you said, it's live job interviews.
Yeah.
You know, if the draft hits and free agency's a bust, whoever had the draft is probably going to get the GM title. And vice versa. Free agency's amazing and we bring back Duggar, we get T. Higgins, we grab somebody's, good corner and the draft sucks. Well, and that guy's leaning more towards GM. So it's an exciting time to be a Patriots fan. I would say that. The excitement level is definitely up.
Absolutely. Well, let's move past lottery teams because, this is the only losing team that I care about.
Facts.
I'll these playoffs, man. So, at the time of this recording, we're just outside of wild card weekend, or on the last day of wild card weekend.
Day, yeah.
What's the game still left? The Bills?
Bills play the Steelers in about 20 minutes. And then after that, you have closeout with
Eagles and Bucks.
Eagles and Bucks, yes.
Right. So let's talk about, I would say probably, let's talk about the most interesting game and the most surprising game. So for me, the most interesting game was watching C.J. Stroud dismantle the Browns' defense. The Browns, they were halted top 2 defense, and they played like it.
They did all year.
But I think that what DeMeco Ryans is doing, and not to go all the way back to the Patriots, but I think DeMeco Ryans, the Texans are the blueprint of how the Patriots should approach the Gerard Mayo era. because you have a former player that was a linebacker, the leader of men, defensive style head coach.
In that organization.
You go outsource a smart young offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And then you get you a talented young quarterback that is a playmaker, a force multiplier, to quote Eric Mangini. But yeah, CJ Stroud, man,
That dude's ridiculous.
he's top. I'm not gonna say top 5. He's top 7.
He's inarguable top 7. You can make a very strong case for top 5.
CJ Stroud is what everybody said they wanted Trevor Lawrence to be, and I'll stand on that.
I agree. I mean, I tweeted it. I was like, everybody was waiting on Trevor Lawrence and the Jags to take over. CJ Stroud's in the same division and did what everybody waiting on Trevor Lawrence to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, I liked Stroud before the draft, but not this much.
Yeah, I don't think nobody saw this. He pretty much breaking the whole Ohio State quarterback thing.
Yeah.
He plays so well out of structure, which I was surprised at. I know he had like the big Georgia game, but that was the only in college. That was the only time that he really.
That was the only game he ran.
Yeah, he
Like,
was
he never ran
in the
in
pocket. He was, you know. But man, CJ Stroud,
That was ridiculous.
put 45 on them boys, and shout out to D'Amico
He
Ryan's
put
defense.
31. The defense got 14.
You're right. Shout out to D'Amico Ryan's defense, making Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was playing like a 45-year-old. He didn't care.
Joe Flacco jokingly, I feel like Joe Flacco realized they might offer me another contract.
I think so too. I think he got tired.
I think he looked up and was like, "Oh yeah, this is why I stopped playing.
It was like, yeah, nah, I can't.
I'm good." Like carpool line was great.
Our Baltimore friends are saying that he was a double agent. So
I felt like he just said the carpool line with the kids was great. Like this hurts.
yeah,
I'm good.
I want to give him a lot of props though from just coming in, stepping in, just slinging it.
Man, I mean, well, he played with reckless abandon. You know, that was the first time all season that he had expectations.
Yeah,
Because going into that, they didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. Deshaun gets hurt, Chubb, and he gets destroyed.
and they almost won the division.
Yeah, they got close to the division. Then Baltimore got hot late. Joe Flacco was setting personal bests.
Yeah,
Like his first month over 1,300 yards passing, which is a Browns and personal record. He had 13 touchdowns, I think 3 or 4 picks in the month of December. He was doing things that we've never seen out of his career. He has a Super Bowl ring on his finger. So kudos to him for stepping up. The Texans are real.
very much
The
so.
Texans will be real for a while. They have a lot of cap spaces off season. Derek Stingley's on a rookie contract. Stroud is a rookie. Will Anderson's a rookie. Christian Harris on a rookie deal.
They just re-signed Larry Tunsil.
They just got Tunsil. They just signed their other tackle two's on a contract. He's been on and off injuries this year. And they have the Browns pick, which is going to be in the low 20s, maybe 21, 22, somewhere in there.
Probably flip that into something.
Probably move it or draft it because your GM is obviously doing well. Look what he has on the team already.
Yes, he was
Yeah.
the Patriots.
Hey, Belichick has trained some great GMs. He hasn't hired any of them.
That's why I'm kind of excited. That's why I'm kind of excited because I'm like, okay, well, imagine if we actually would have lived in those players. So
He's trained some amazing GMs. Listen to none of them, obviously, but
Yeah.
trained some amazing GMs. But you have a lot of those guys. They're going to be there a while. If you're a Texans fan, what do you need? You need a running back?
experience,
Experience.
to be honest, and they're getting it now. I think they just need to grow because personnel wise, top to bottom, you have a court, maybe a safety spot. You know,
Another corner, probably a running back.
they have a good young linebacker.
Yeah, because they got Christian Harris.
Shout out Chris Harris, South Baton Rouge Ram.
Shout out that guy.
You know what I'm saying?
They got Christian Harris. So, yeah, like I said, another safety, corner, and running back. You got $80 million in cap space potentially in your own picks. And Cleveland's pick. So,
In Cleveland, how about that Deshaun Watson-sized elephant in the room?
as he's watching C.J. Stroud walk off the field, beating his team in the playoffs. Like that, like as a Houston Texans organization,
The way the Texans played, the way the Texans played, the way Deshaun has been playing, I'm not sure that he could have beat them the way that it was rolling.
I don't think he would have.
I don't think he would have beat them.
I don't
And I
think he
think,
would've.
but I think that's probably his only saving grace from them trying to find a way to cut him.
Is that they blew Cleveland, but they can't cut him. Contract's really guaranteed.
They do got like some like weird clause in it though that his contract becomes non-guaranteed if he breaks protocol or something
Yeah, if he breaks a law or some like weird person code of conduct,
Right.
it becomes not guaranteed. But he's not dumb. Like even if he were to go through a personal issue, he'd probably hide it. Well, like he has $230 million lined up. All he has to do is continue to perform halfway decent and be healthy. He'll get his money. But there's an iconic shot of Stroud walking off the field. Deshaun looking at him like,
He just looking at him.
yeah, like
They have the same agents.
yeah, like dude, you took like my whole like everything he did in Texas history is effectively gone in a year.
Right. Right. And I'll say, so let's talk about the Cowboys game, which was probably the most surprising game.
That was definitely the most surprising game.
Another young quarterback, Jordan Love. Another young black quarterback. Hey man, these black quarterbacks, these black coaches, black GMs, we step in bleed. We do more than just play running back.
Starter or receiver.
Yeah. The way Christian McCaffrey looking up, he might took that from us.
He might can't play running back.
They might have got that one.
But yeah, impressive from the Packers. And I don't know if it's more of the Packers were impressive, or the fact that the Cowboys were an abject disaster pretty much from kickoff. The Packers do what they always do to the Cowboys. They hand the ball to Aaron Jones. They keep their quarterback in the pocket for the most part. I think the biggest matchup advantage the Packers have, I was surprised by, was offensive staff and LaFleur over Dan Quinn. There were so many Packers receivers just running
wide
open. Like,
Matt LaFleur schemed up a great game plan, which on paper everybody said that you could run against the Cowboys, but the Packers O-line it's been a makeshition O-line all year.
All season, yeah.
They've never had. I don't think they already played.
I don't think
game.
he's played really the last 2 seasons.
That man trying to get to Aaron Rodgers. We know what that is. But you know, like it was just schemed great, and honestly, they wanted more. They were more physical.
I agree.
The Cowboys, they were just dominated from start to finish in terms of physicality. It felt like the Packers hit harder, felt like they blocked better, felt like that they were faster, and it's like you got a team with Micah Parsons, Ron Bland, all pro, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Dan Quinn is a hell of a
DC.
He's a hell of a DC. But man, for him just to get outclassed like that, and I will give him just a little bit of credit. Dak and Mike McCarthy did him no favors.
None in that first half. I mean, because if you look at what we're talking about the Lions and Rams game, if you look at an offense, if my defense is struggling, I need you to do something. If no more than get 2 first downs and punt it. Like, but if I get up a long touchdown drive, you 3 and out and get the ball back, I haven't had time to really even think of an adjustment. We're back on the field, yeah.
And then now I'm like, okay, well, I have to try to get a turnover before we get blown out. And I think that's what happened to the Cowboys. And like 27-0, you can tell a lot of those busted plays came from, they was like, okay, we just got to send everybody. We have to do something to get to Jordan Love because the Packers, they were blocking amazing. Like, Jordan Love was barely touched. And then, or they tried to oversell for the run and those play action shots.
Play actions were killing them.
And it's just kind of like, well, yeah, that's because they got out physical. Aaron Jones gets mad at the Cowboys, like the Cowboys told him, hey, we're not drafting you personally. Like,
you could be the last person on the board, we'll like just not pick.
I think the last time they played the Cowboys, he had like, 4 touchdowns?
Yeah, he averages like 140 from his career against them.
That's insane.
He had 2 rushing touchdowns all year. He had 3 yesterday. I don't know what they did to him in the pre-draft process, or if he wanted to negotiate with them. They told him no. I don't know what happened. Maybe he's a huge. Maybe him and Zeke are cool. He didn't like how they did Zeke. I don't know.
But that was just.
It gets brutal for them every time Aaron Jones sees them. Jordan Love, I want to give him this, even though he didn't get it. He was going to be the 3rd quarterback to have a perfect passer rating in the playoffs, but because dropped it, and brought his rating down to non-perfect. Him and Stroud, actually, speaking of the young quarterback,
they had identical
all
stats.
had twin games. They had 16 to 21. One had 274. One had 272. They both had 157 passer ratings, 3 touchdowns and no picks. So that kind of stuff's insane. To look at 2 young guys, both in their first year of starting. One's a real rookie, one's an NBA rookie.
Yeah, red shirt.
Yes, and one's an NBA rookie. Have those two young guys against two experienced staffs. That's an experienced staff over there in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Schwartz is the DC. He's been DC's forever in the NFL.
And they've played great. They've been great defenses all year.
And they got torched.
But I think the only team to really blow out, the only team to really dominate the defense of the Cowboys this year was the Niners.
But the Niners did everyone.
And what I think
and I think Cleveland got
the Ravens.
The Ravens hit up Cleveland, which to everyone.
And honestly, the Browns defense, they got turnovers, and that's how they came back and won that game against the Ravens. But yeah, like two great defenses, two experienced defenses for two
experienced staffs, experienced teams,
for two first-year starters with weapons that nobody's writing home about. Nobody's trying to go get Jaden Reed or Romeo
Collins or
Nico Collins.
Yeah, like no one. Dalton Schultz he used to be a Cowboy, he's a Texan.
Right.
Like no one's really writing home about these guys. I can't name either offensive coordinator.
I think Matt LaFleur brought his brother back because he got fired from New York or something.
Yes, I think he's on staff, but I don't know if he's officially the OC. And these are two young quarterbacks who really looked good yesterday.
They look like vets.
And also, it helps to scheme. For instance, the Texans had Larry Tunsil. That's a personnel thing. But the Texans had Larry Tunsil, who kept Myles Garrett away from C.J. Stroud all night.
And how they moved the pocket, they made sure that Larry Tunsil was going to have something to do with that block. No matter where you lined up, Myles Garrett, you was going to get him that way and C.J. this way.
Yeah, you're going to get him away from Myles Garrett. And then the Packers, a lot of play action. When you play action, it's an aggressive team. They have to freeze for a second because they don't know if it's around pass. Parsons was pointless. I mean, the one time they ran his way in the first quarter, they stuffed it. And I'm screaming at the TV, run the other way. I don't know if somebody heard me. Then they go the other way. Yeah, they just kept doing it. Yeah, like, go the other way.
That kind of led to our little fundamental difference of, I said that Micah should have just took his lumps and developed as an inside linebacker because that's what his body type is.
That's what he played at Penn State.
The whole, I want to put him on the D-line, hand in the dirt, that's not his game. He doesn't have the size. He's not big enough.
The person, and that's what I was saying, I don't mind him being a linebacker, but a T.J. Watt style linebacker. Like T.J. Watt drops a lot in coverage. More than we give him credit for. T.J. Watt drops a lot. Aiden Hutchinson is doing it with Detroit. Dropping in coverage. But on second and long, third and long, I'm going to the pass.
But they're big, too.
They are bigger.
They have the size.
They are bigger.
And unless you have, like, Von Miller technique or that strength to really get up off the ground, like, Michael Parsons, whenever they run the ball, why is he on the field?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Honestly.
I think that's an organizational issue as well.
If you have him standing up, at least he can, point out and
that's what I was saying. Yeah, he can stand. I don't know why his hands in the dirt. Ever.
Yeah.
And that's another thing with DeMarcus Lawrence. I spoke about DeMarcus Lawrence too. We're running away from Michael Parsons. You're the run-stopping DN, and we're running to you repeatedly. Like, if anything, we run to the 220-pound guy as opposed to you, whose whole job is to stop the run. They ran to him repeatedly. They missed Trayvon Diggs yesterday. They missed having him because they were picking on Stephon Gilmore. Like, that might have been Stephon Gilmore's retirement match. Like how they have the WWE last match when you retire. That might have been Stephon Gilmore's retirement match. Those young fast receivers from Green Bay, Tennessee broke them a lot. Gilmore likes to undercut that drag route, and they were selling that drag and going on the corner routes pretty much all night. Dobbs popped wide open on one. Watson popped wide open on one. That might have been Gilmore's retirement match. He looked like, what is he, 33, 34 now? Like he looked like
every bit of 33, 34.
He looked all of that.
Coming off of a knee injury too.
Yeah, he looked all of that in that game.
And honestly, they could use Diggs playmaking.
Yes.
To make a turnover.
Diggs
would have jumped something.
Because now if Diggs on one side, Bland's on the other, you can kind of hide Gilmore, slot corner maybe, or something. Put him at safety even, like get him away from the outside, because every time they put him on the outside one-on-one, they just ran by him. And so that, as a Patriots fan who liked Gilmore, that kind of hurt to see him. Like man, it's about that time, fella.
About that time, dog.
Head to the house, my guy. But that was surprising. Kudos to the Packers. They have the Niners coming up, so not great.
Not great for them.
Not great for them. But
who you got? Who's more likely to get the upset? Jordan Love or CJ Stroud? Stroud. I agree.
I think the Niners are gonna roll to the Super Bowl. Roll to and through the Super Bowl. Like I don't.
Okay. We'll get Super Bowl.
We'll get that, yeah. But I think it's Stroud, and just because who's the edge rusher on Green Bay? Rashawn Gary, I think.
Luke Van Ness.
Yeah, like.
Boy, I was so scared. I thought we was gonna draft Luke Van Ness.
Oh my God, that would have. Honestly, Luke Van Ness a close range. Yeah,
Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah,
thank you, Bill, for that one.
Thank you, Christian Gonzalez. But yeah, so when you have no edge rusher, I can't name him in Green Bay. Who's the linebacker in Green Bay?
Quay Walker.
That's cute. And Simone Biles was playing safety. So at a certain point, that man
is the kid. He told y'all.
That man lied. That man lied. That man had caught anything but her.
But speaking of kudos, man, Detroit, they got it. I didn't think I would be alive long enough to see Detroit win a playoff game. I'm gonna be honest.
Detroit got it done.
Against Stafford.
The irony. It was going to be ironic either way. Either Stafford is the reason why you're still not winning playoff games, or you finally win one with Stafford on the field and he's not at quarterback.
I just want to say that kind of proves my theory that Stafford was the problem.
I mean, according to Eminem's promo, he wasn't. So,
According to that well-lost column, he was.
Stafford got the ring out of the deal. So.
Boba ring.
Stafford got the ring out of the deal. And I'm usually a Jared Goff
hater.
I won't say hater.
I like Jared Goff. Be red.
I usually keep Jared Goff to an extent where I have to call in perspective. And the person was number one pick. I need my number one pick to not be a guy that I trade for another guy and then we win the Super Bowl.
The other guy was also number one pick.
And one of the best prospects, last 30 years.
With Jared Goff, to Jared Goff's credit, he won more playoff games.
This is true.
He went to a Super Bowl. He just went against the greatest defensive performance ever.
In a Super Bowl, arguably ever.
Ever. And then he was Offensive Player of the Year that year?
He was. He outdid Mahomes in Mexico that time, that 52-42, whatever.
Which is like a ridiculous shout out to my fantasy team that year. I had Goff, Gurley, and Cooper Kupp playing at the same time.
He outdid Mahomes that game. Goff had moments in LA. But people worried how he'd look outside of McVay's system. McVay spoon-fed him a lot.
Yeah.
Which is when defense started doing that trick of moving after the 15-second mark. That's when the headset cuts off. Mm-hmm. Just to try and mess with him. But McVay fed him a lot. Kudos to him. His OC's Ben Johnson. No one knew about Ben Johnson before he got Jared Goff.
That's what I'm saying.
And now you got Jared Goff. And now all of a sudden you're like the hottest head coach prospect in the league.
How good is Ben Johnson? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Kudos to Jared Goff. Big shout out to Dan Campbell. People laughed at him during his press conference. Like the whole biting the kneecap off thing. And then you knock it down, I'm going to bite the other on the way.
Because if you call it what it is, he's a big guy. He's a former football player. He's a former
tight end.
They look at him like a meathead.
Yeah, those dudes are insane. Like
that's what it is. They look at him like a jock. Like how people looked at Gronk, right? And I think that's how you kind of look at Dan Campbell because he's hype and
he turns red about
he's emotional. He's passionate. Yeah. But I think there is something to be said about being a leader of men, especially in the head coaching position.
I agree.
I don't think the way that Detroit showed up yesterday, if you, on paper, the Rams had the better coach, quarterback, and defense. Detroit did not look like that yesterday. Everybody decided to play their A game, and I think they played it for that city, and I think they played it for Dan Campbell.
I agree. Because a lot of people was calling them the same old Lions.
Yep.
Like, okay, yeah, Detroit got a regular season. Okay, cool. They're going to lose to the Rams by 30. And then like, same old Lions. They had not hosted a playoff game in the Ford Field era. Since Ford Field had been open, they had not hosted a playoff game.
That's crazy.
The last time they won a playoff game was 1991. That's 6 years before I was born. I think Jerry Jones had just bought the Cowboys. Yeah. That's how long it's been since the
Ironically,
Lions.
the last time the Patriots had top 3 draft pick. Drew
Drew Bledsoe, yeah. Like, it's been a while since the Lions won a playoff game. It's just the energy in the stadium, you can feel it through the TV.
Yeah.
Like,
I definitely thought after they showed the Eminem promo, I thought they was out of there. But that's just my own bias against Eminem. But
you can feel the energy through the TV. The first touchdown, like, it almost like the camera started shaking. They were so loud. The energy in there was loud all night. They were hyped all night.
They were crisp. They were tough, and they showed a lot of resilience because it was 21 to 17 going out of the half, and the final score ended up being like 24-23.
Yeah, they battled all game. It wasn't. I mean, they took their shots on Stafford. I mean, there's the clip. I posted it on JTS. They took their shot on Stafford. I thought he was concussed. I still think he was concussed. Like,
he got knocked out. I don't know if it's a concussion because that's something, there's a lot of, you got to look into. He got knocked out though.
Because his eyes were the size of like plates. And his fingers
Kind of
locked up
back,
for a
he
second.
knocked
Yeah,
he got knocked out.
he was knocked out. And he went to the tent. The independent person looked at him and said he was fine.
Honestly, if it wasn't a playoff game, it would have been done.
I think it would have been done.
It would have been done. And then shout out to him. He came back and he was slinging it.
He was still throwing the ball well. So it wasn't like we saw when Tua had his issue. He looked awful after
for the rest of the season.
Yeah, for the season he looked bad. But I was talking about that game where they claimed it was a back injury and the final concussion, that Raiders game, I think.
Yeah.
He looked awful the rest of that game. Stafford is slinging dots over, like, he looked like he was perfectly fine. Aaron Donald was a no-show.
They triple teamed him. That O-line stepped up though.
Big time.
It wasn't even like he looked old. That O-line stepped up. You could tell that was a point of emphasis. And the Rams, this is kind of where the whole if them draft picks came back to bite them.
Yeah.
Because you really got to hit, like Puka Nacua, super hit. But everybody else, it's hard. When you're picking day 3 guys, they're day 3 for a reason.
Yeah. Everybody passed on them 4 times for a reason.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, but shout out to Dan Campbell, shout out to the Rams for putting forth the valiant effort, even though I think that Sean McVay hold them. He made a coaching error on that last drive that the Rams had whenever they got the penalty.
For that.
I thought Dan Campbell made the error by accepting a penalty, and I was like, why would you put them in a position where you have to stop them twice?
Right.
And for McVay to try to get his 3rd and 14, 5 minutes left. Why are you trying to get it all? Not about like 3 and some change.
Like 3 and some change, yeah.
Why are you trying to get all 14 back in one play?
That's when you design Puka's been
Especially
killing
when they
on
were
over routes.
so soft.
And Puka's been killing them on over routes all night. He finished with 9 catches, $181 and a touchdown.
Most of his stuff was rat.
Most stuff was crossing route 10 yards, crossing route 13 yards.
And it just
so why not design one of those crossing routes again? Get 10.
So back after a brief intermission. I don't know if I'm gonna hit that out or not, but we'll see. That's probably why I'm not doing it live.
That's why I'm not doing it live.
All right, so playoff predictions of the games that's left. So outside of Bills Steelers, which is currently going on right now, who do you got?
So there's Philly, Tampa, which is the nightcap. Philly's a field goal favorite. I won't go through all the betting minutia. But Philly's 3-point favorite. I've got Philly. They have been floundering the past 6 weeks. They're actually the first team, or one of the first teams since like 1950 to start 11-1 or better, or 10-1 or better, and not actually win 12 games, which is almost impossible to do when you say it out loud. But I don't believe in Baker Mayfield, so I will do anything to vote against Baker Mayfield.
That's hate.
It is. So the other quarterback could be Zach Wilson. I'd probably still pick Zach Wilson. Baker Mayfield's in a big spot here. Mike Evans not the world's best playoff performer. Even when Brady won the Super Bowl of the year, there was a lot of Godwin, there was a lot of Gronk.
Godwin is still there.
Godwin's still there, but Tom Brady's not. And there was a lot of
the
defense was insane. Barrett, White. So I'm gonna go with Philly here, 27-20. I think the Eagles do enough to correct their offense. I think they picked six Baker one time, kind of flipped the game on its head. A lot of expectations. He hosts a playoff game, and if Tampa was in any other division, they're not even in the playoffs. They have to win the NFC dumpster fire.
Philly's defense has been soft all year, which kind of hurts because I thought that Mac Jones actually was playing well. But it just turns out Philly defense has just been playing trash.
That's how bad Philly defense is.
Yeah.
It made you think Mac Jones was good for a second.
He did. They did. And Matt Patricia took over, so it only got worse. So Philly's defense has been soft. Baker has been killing people in the passing game all year. I got the Bake Show with the upset. I think that him and Godwin, like I said, Godwin is a top performer. He attacks the middle of the field a lot. Philly is very soft in the middle. And their offense has no A.J. Brown. Their offense doesn't look good schematically at all. It's mainly like, my players are better than yours. My offensive line is tougher. My quarterback is hard to bring down. And my wide receivers are better. Yeah. But A.J. Brown is gone. Devontae Smith isn't 100%. Jalen Hurts isn't either. Hurts isn't 100%. So this is kind of like, unless they run the ball 100 times, which I think they're going to try to do.
Yeah, I think a lot of DeAndre Swift.
But even then, it's just kind of like, unless you can pop for some big ones, because Tampa, they're going to air it out. They have nothing left to lose. They're playing with house money.
Yeah, that's true. They're hosting a playoff game. They won the worst division in the league. No one expects them to win. I mean, Philly's a 3-point favorite on the road, which neutral sites is a 6-point favorite.
Yeah.
So
staying in the NFC, I think I'm going to go with the Niners. That's just, they're the best team in football.
Yeah.
I like Brock Purdy a lot more than you do, but
we're not having it.
We're not about to do that. We don't have no time for that.
Yeah.
But I think that there is something to be credited for running the system. And since Shanahan's been there, the system hasn't looked nearly as good. This is the best it's ever looked. Granted, Christian McCaffrey is having an all-pro season, but at the same time, you got to give credit where it's due. That whole offense is clicking. They have the best defense in football, I think, even though Baltimore came in and kicked the doors down.
Yeah.
But I think that this should be an easy dub for San Fran, and that's who I have come out the NFC, period. So
I mean, I would agree. I think San Fran rolls Green Bay. It'll be over. I mean, I think you might see Sam Darnold in the fourth quarter. Like that kind of over.
Yeah.
Running over Green Bay. I agree with all your points, San Fran. I've been touting their talent all year. They have 5 first-team All-Pros, 4 on offense, 1 on defense. I don't remember who's on the second team. They have 2 more on the second team. So they have 5 to 7 All-Pros on the team. They're a very legit roster. I think they'll roll through the NFC. Yeah, San Fran should roll Green Bay.
All right. AFC. I'm going to year the upset in the AFC. Okay. I think C.J. Stroud continues the Cinderella run, and I think that they get Baltimore.
I think they do too.
Lamar has not been a good playoff performer, even though he's been the MVP this year, and that defense has been great. That whole top to bottom Baltimore has probably been the best team, but I think C.J. Stroud comes in, and I think I'll put it like this: if the Texans get out early, I think Lamar get tight, and I think that's what's going to cause their collapse.
I think the one thing people have been lamenting, and we have several Baltimore fans.
Yeah.
I think one thing people have been lamenting over the past years of Lamar's reign is the fact he hasn't had weapons, right? And so now you're going to a situation. You have your Zay Flowers, you have your Odell, you have a run game that's been going excellent. You have Lamar, you have that run game. It's going to work. You don't have Mark Andrews. He's not there.
He's coming back. He got activated.
Yeah, activated, but that's to make sure he's not in IR the rest of the season.
True.
So he's not there yet. And Derek Stingley just took Amari Cooper out of the game last week. I think he put Stingley on Zay Flowers and he told Odell Beckham to beat you. And in that situation, I don't think he can. I have Houston with the upset as well too. There's a lot of pressure on Baltimore. Like we spoke about with Tampa. Houston's playing with house money. Stroud can throw 5 picks next week, and it's going to change no one's opinion of him.
He threw 5 picks this whole season, so I doubt
that. That's going to happen.
He's not going to give you. You got to take it.
You have to take it from him, right? Like Houston can go in there and lose 38-0. It's going to change no one's opinion of Houston. So DeMeco Ryans can play free. He can take his chance on defense. Stroud can take his shots down the field. Because if you lose the game, you have a great season, have the best rookie season of a quarterback in a long time. Maybe it's Andrew Luck.
Yep, and added pressure towards Baltimore. And Nick Wright has been talking about this for a while. The AFC has been pretty compromised this year. You know, you got the up and down roller coaster that is the Bills, which I'll talk about them in a second. The Chiefs, this is the worst that we've seen in the Patrick Mahomes era of the Chiefs. Joe Burrow's hurt, so the Bengals aren't a factor. And then
the Steelers have nothing at quarterback.
Still have nothing at quarterback. Belichick team is out.
Deshaun and Chubb blew up in the end of the year.
Yeah, so if Baltimore, you can't get it done this year, can you win the Super Bowl with this regime, this iteration?
And I don't know if you can. I mean, the Chargers have the worst coach in the league. That's a talented roster.
It is.
It's a very talented roster.
It is.
Anybody, literally anybody, is better than Brandon Staley. They're going to get an NFL level head coach.
Definitely.
Like, Pittsburgh's never bad. That's in the division. Burrow's back next year.
I got faith in the Patriots come back, but, you know.
I mean, the Patriots have the opportunity to bounce back overnight. There's always one team that goes from worst in the division to first in the division every year. And a team with the top 3 pick at $100 million cap space has a very good chance of
being. And I don't see Kansas City being this clunky.
They almost can't be, right? Like, you have a quarterback like Mahomes, you can't look this awful offensively 2 years in a row.
And the fact that they're still the number 3 league, so, you know, there's that.
There's that, right.
But speaking of Mahomes, I have Mahomes and company finally getting slain by Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen conquers those demons, and I think that the Buffalo Bills, if they beat the Steelers, because again, we don't know, look, they can lose today or they can win the Super Bowl. They're that boom or bust. But I think that Josh Allen will put it together. I think that the Buffalo Bills will go all the way to the Super Bowl. And I think that they'll play the Niners in the Cotton Bowl. If you get there, you get there.
I hate you so much. I have the opposite take on the Bills. I think he wins today. I think it's one of those situations where he can't lose to the Steelers, right?
Right.
Like, you've had this miraculous run. At one point, there was a 13% chance they even got in the playoffs. You end up winning the division, right? You go to Miami, you beat them. You can't lose to the Steelers. Like, part of me, as an open Josh Allen hater, part of me wants the Bills to lose this game. Like, a huge part of me wants them to lose this game. But my brain won't let me pick the Bills, or pick the Steelers rather, so I'm going to go with the Bills there. Which sends, of course, Houston to Baltimore. I think Mahomes gets them. It's in Kansas City. That roller coaster's been up a little while. What do we all know about roller coasters? They go up, they gotta come back down.
But they play to their comp a lot. And I think that...
The Chiefs' offense is comp?
No, the Chiefs are comp. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes on the field is comp. And I think Josh Allen, whenever he plays Patrick Mahomes, he takes first. It's like the Clippers and the Lakers. You don't really expect the Clippers to win anything. But whenever they play the Lakers,
they're gonna be the Lakers.
They're gonna give you the
Lakers.
And so I think it's the same thing.
I just think they lose to Kansas City. There's no one on Kansas City's defense that terrifies Mahomes.
So you got Mahomes going back to back.
I have Mahomes going back to the Super Bowl again. I think he gets wrecked in the Super Bowl.
I think the Niners win the Super Bowl regardless of who they play.
Yeah.
But I got the Bills coming out of the AFC.
I got Mahomes going back and getting wrecked. And it won't even be his fault. It'll just be you're running to the best team in the league and you have nothing with you. Like, you're going to sheer talent your way to the Super Bowl and then be destroyed for it. Like, it's a bad moment.
It's a bad one.
So, like, he played Tampa. Like, he carried that team. That team was hurt that year. Kelsey wasn't playing that well. Tyreek was banged up. Both tackles were gone. And then Tampa just wrecked them because you had nothing with you. Similar situation. They're going to get destroyed because he has nothing with them. And San Fran has been building this team for this moment for 4 years now.
Nick Bosa going to remember that Mahomes is half black.
You've got Bosa. You've got Chase Young. You know what I mean? You got 4 first-team All-Pros on one side of the ball. Fred Warner's the best linebacker in the game on the other side of the ball. That's Fred Warner. Yeah, it's Fred Warner. What the All-Pro list say? It's Fred Warner. Ironically, the weakness of the Niners is corners. The problem is the Chiefs' worst position is receivers. So you can't even get to their weakness. And no one's catching Christian McCaffrey. So it's just like, this is a bad matchup for anybody against the Niners. There's nobody in the NFC.
The only team in the AFC that can get the Niners is probably Baltimore again. But like you said, I don't think Baltimore makes it.
I don't think Baltimore getting there. Yeah. I think Buffalo would have a shot because they can hit their corners. I got Diggs. By that point, I should have Gabe Davis. I'm Buffalo. That's not the game I want to play though. No.
If I'm Buffalo, that's not.
If I'm Buffalo, I'm praying the Texans make it.
If I'm Buffalo, I don't want to play the all right, Josh Allen, full verdict to do.
All right, Josh Allen, 45 pass attempts.
Because you know it's gonna be a pick, man.
2. It's gonna be 2 picks in that game. You're gonna go, who?
Like I said, like I told you, when he pat the ball, it's gonna be a bad pass. It's a pick. If he sit there and he go through his progressions and he pat it,
he hit that
he about to launch it.
He hit that back foot and stop.
He about to launch it into double, triple coverage.
He's thinking in his head, how far can I really throw this right now?
I truly think that he just I think he throw it farther than he thinks. And to say that he has the strongest arm in football, but I think that he overestimates it a lot.
Because distance and power are 2 different things. It can go forever, but if it takes forever to get there, I can catch up to it.
Yeah.
Right? Like Mahomes throws 50-yard lasers, and they're like, the camera can't even catch it. It's going so fast. Allen can throw it 80, but it just kind of sits there.
Yeah.
And if I'm already standing there, I don't care how far you throw it. I'm standing here already.
He throws it like a baseball or something. Like
He fires it. It's like it's really, he don't throw it like a football. He throws it like a baseball. Like it winds up. It's weird. So looks like Niners gonna win the Super Bowl. And they both got that pat. Who they play is a dispute. I've got Mahomes getting back and getting wrecked. You have the roller coaster man himself.
Caveman Josh Allen. What?
The guy who commercial come back with a caveman. So it's gonna be a great Super Bowl commercial.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, Jack, it's been a pleasure having you in. The first piece of content is going on IMS and going to be on your new JTS channel, which I think it's perfect time to end this off with a big announcement. So, like I said, I took a little bit of a hiatus to start Introspective Media Solutions, or IMS. We handle all content needs, flyers, posters, clips, and podcast production. And we like to say that our first signing is the Just in Time Sports Podcast. So, welcome to the IMS family. We've been friends for a long time, so of course it was natural that this is going to happen. We're going to take your pod to the next level, and excited to see what's coming up in this new year.
I'm definitely excited to be working with you, man. Like I said, we've been friends for 15 years now, give or take.
Yeah.
So we've been friends for a long time. I'm excited about this opportunity. I'm excited for the Just in Time Sports family to grow. So this is going to be an amazing partnership.
For sure. So, like I said, this is our first piece of content. We know it's going to be a little rough, but it's only up from here. So, see y'all later.